Well, believe it or not, after several weeks, I am still feeling sick, but I suppose the show must go on. So, without further ado, hello, welcome to Chaos and Controls, the show where we talk about modern devices, technologies, and techniques to automate your home, business, and life. I'm your host, the Automation Doctor. Today, I thought we could go ahead and talk about a handful of my favorite brain boxes for doing home automation projects. Now, there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of devices and things out there, and honestly, as one of my former bosses used to tell me, there is nothing more terrifying than staring at a blank canvas. Where do you start? So, if you've never done any kind of automation projects before, trying to cut your teeth, get in, and start playing with some of the hardware, you're probably not going to go out and buy an Allen Bradley PLC or something expensive. You've probably heard about things like the Raspberry Pi, the Arduino, things of that nature, and the Pi can be a really interesting platform, but not necessarily great for beginners who are trying to focus more on what you're achieving in the field. It's really more of a computational brain box for doing more like web-based type stuff or things that you can stare at a screen and see what you want. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend is I'm going to put in one of these. This is a knockoff of the original Arduino Uno. In this case, this one's made by Elegoo. I believe they have a starter kit on Amazon for like 35 bucks or so. They're pretty good, and if you're looking for a way to break in and cut your teeth and get started, I believe there's even a gentleman on YouTube, older gentleman that does a handful of tutorials and things. The Arduino is a wonderful platform. If you can afford it, go ahead and start with one of the actual Arduino original controllers just to help support that team and give them some money back for everything that they have done to provide this platform to the world. There's multiple decades of just community adoption and love for the Arduino platform. Great place to start. Easy entry to get into all sorts of projects out there. I am not going to be able to meaningfully contribute to that community in an introductory video like this. That said, when you are looking to do a little bit more, the Arduino, as neat as it is, based on an old Atmega chip, which is this guy right here. It's missing a handful of modern conveniences and features. It doesn't have a lot of memory. Maybe you're looking for something with a little more horsepower. There are more modern options out there. There are several of them. One of my favorites is the ESP32. I don't remember exactly who makes this particular variant. If I flip it over, you can see I've got more I/O options than the native Arduino has. In this case, this one talks USB-C, which is lovely. That is very modern, probably works with your smartphone. The ESP32 is this box right here, and the thing that's really neat about them, besides the fact that they are in fact cheaper, despite being newer, more capable, faster, everything else, you've got this little antenna set right here. It comes with onboard Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Now, anyone who's been listening to the channel for a reasonable amount of time knows that, but Doc, you hate Wi-Fi, you hate Bluetooth, you like everything to be wired. You're absolutely correct, and for the most part, I like using these guys for doing more of your prototyping, trying things out, getting something out in the field quickly just to try. There's actually a fairly new product. I don't know when it launched, but when you are ready to move to it, I found this. This is by Olimex. It is a ESP32 board. However, you will notice that the form factor is quite a bit different. You will have to solder on some of your own headers onto this thing, unfortunately. But, soldering's not too difficult. This is a PoE board, and so you've got the regular ESP32 board sitting here with your onboard Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but if you don't want to utilize that, you can actually use your Ethernet port that's built in on this thing and actually have power and communications all in the same cable. And I, for one, really like PoE technologies. There's just a lot you can do with it, and it's one cable to manage. I haven't done a whole lot with this board yet. As you can see, this one doesn't even have the headers soldered onto it just yet, but I am hoping to be able to incorporate this into the channel and do some projects with it down the road. And if there's anything that I'm going to be able to add to the community, it's probably not going to be on the base Arduino or a regular ESP32, but we might be able to do some things that haven't been seen yet with this particular board once I get some more time on it. It's also worth noting that unlike older stuff that I grew up on 5-volt logic, there's a lot of field devices out there that you can get online that are 5-volt logic. Easy enough to work with, but these boards natively talk 3.3 volts, and so unless you've got a 5-volt exterior solution you're bringing in or something, if you're trying to do PoE or just use like a regular USB or something, you might end up in a little bit of trouble if you try to get, say, for instance, relays that are 5 volts. You might say, but Doc, you're showing me a relay that's 5 volts, and yes, as I said, you may end up disappointed. Ask me how I know. Anywho, handful of what I just wanted to show you today. Like I said, out of everything that I've got here, I really anticipate getting a lot more bang for the buck out of these PoE devices. As it turns out, this is a $20 board, by the way. There is, for an additional $10, you can get one that I would use more in a production grade environment. I said production grade, maybe more for if you're actually going to be using it for the house or whatever. You're going to be leaving it for a while, you're not prototyping. And it isolates the PoE from the rest of the board, so if I have a field device fail and short back, I don't end up blowing up my switch, and subsequently if my switch ends up having a problem, I don't end up blowing up the board. Probably worth the extra $10 if you're going to have it in the field for a while. Anywho, that's what I have for you all today. You all have a good one, and I will catch you next time.